Question for you before I begin. Has anyone's life here not gone as planned? Show of hands. Okay, great. Not great, not really. I'm sorry your life didn't go as planned. I'm sorry my life didn't go as planned, but that's not really the point. The point is we've all have had losses. Some are just more visible than others. And I believe that fact connects us. I think that we're all trying to figure out how to live fully in the life you didn't plan. It's great to be back here in Chapel Hill. It is a very special place for me. I was actually born here, Memorial Hospital. I got the scholarship of my dreams here. I met the man of my dreams here. I got the job of my dreams here. I also experienced my first and perhaps deepest loss here. I was living at Old Well Apartments when I got the phone call from my father. My brother Forrest had hit a pier while water skiing at Lake Hickory. 9 days later, he died. He was only 17. I was 20 and devastated. They closed the high school the day of Forrest's funeral. The church overflowed with 1,300 people and that deep, abiding sadness of untimely death. I wanted to wear black that day, but I had no black dress. My college roommate, Joy, let me borrow hers. I was in a life that wasn't my own. I didn't even have the wardrobe for it. The minister read part of Forrest's college admission essay, completed the day before his accident. The last part of Forrest's essay looms largest. After describing himself, his dreams, his close and appreciated relationship with his family, he wrote, "I would change nothing. I would change nothing." I bowed my head, but not in reverence. I focused on the wet wad of tissues in my hands, my cheeks burning with a confused rage as the minister droned on. The simple words delivered a sharp, twisted message of comfort in knowing that Forrest was so content with his life, yet a raw fury because I would have changed so many things about the day we lost him. What if he had come home on time? What if he had not made that last round of skiing? What if he had missed the pier? What were you doing? Where were you looking? Why weren't you paying attention? I am angry at you for being careless, for being thoughtless, and yes, for leaving me here to miss you for the rest of my life. How dare you die on me? I crammed tissues into the tears that weren't what they seemed. I was supposed to be sad, and yet I was hurt and angry and then ashamed for feeling that way. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with all of us? I would change nothing. This from that kid, the one with all the supersized dreams and plans and God-given talents to deliver. How could that possibly be the last thing he wrote? Who are we now? Where's my family? What is happening to all of us? So my notes say here, if I get through that without crying, to give myself a high five. So back to the story, what happens? Our family shatters. And I wondered, would I ever find that family feeling again before we lost Forrest? Was it possible? In my 20s, the answer was yes. I began working for IBM in Charlotte, married that UNC boy, and we had our first child before the age of 30. Exactly as planned. Then I turned 31 and had 5 difficult pregnancies in the next 5 years, 2 miscarriages, and 3 children with serious health issues that included epilepsy, autism, and a rare blood disorder, alloimmune thrombocytopenia for you doctors out there. It took a toll on our marriage and we divorced. 9 days later, I wake up with strange shooting sensations in my legs. In 6 hours, I was paralyzed by transverse myelitis, a rare inflammation of the spinal cord that affects 1 in a million. 1/3 recover fully, 1/3 recover partially, 1/3 have no recovery at all. I was 38 years old. I had kids ages 3, 4, 6, and 9. So basically, I just keep moving through life, now from a wheelchair, and a lot of help. After a year, I was still clinging to the possibility that I may still recover fully. But reality strikes again. 19 months after paralysis, I ventured out into a seminar designed for and by spinal cord injured patients. First, we heard an upbeat presentation on spinal cord research. Then we learned that renal failure and disease had been greatly reduced. In fact, they were no longer the leading cause of death in spinal cord injured patients. The leading cause of death. Those words froze the pen in my hand as I looked up at the speaker and tried to absorb what I'd heard. In general, of course, he continued, the spinal cord injured population has life expectancy less than the normal population. Boom. There it was. The whole truth was out. I suppose it was obvious, the fact that I was a member of the spinal cord injured population. It's funny though, I'd never thought of myself that way. I always felt like Becky Galli without the use of her legs. It never occurred to me I'd join a group. But if kidney problems were no longer my new group's leading cause of death, what was, I wondered? And as if the lead speaker had heard me, he announced, the current leading causes of death in the spinal cord injured population are respiratory or pulmonary complications, suicide, or accident. My notes stopped there. It was too much to take in. Yet I couldn't help wondering, what will be the cause of my death? And is it really more likely to happen to me solely because I sit in this ridiculous wheelchair? When I got home, I made a vow to myself. Life expectancy will not change my expectations in life. And I wrote down what my expectations were. I expect to grow as a parent, nurturing my children and creating an environment for their success. I expect to publish my writing. I expect a vacation to travel to experience as much of life as possible from this contraption I must use. I expect to become involved in at least one major philanthropic effort that would benefit the disabilities of my children or myself. As I face mortality's place in my life, as well as the limits of paralysis, I struggled to embrace the thought that things may never be the same. I needed to let go of the burden to somehow return things to normal. I needed to accept my life as it was. That day, at age 41, I stopped trying to wiggle my left big toe. Sometimes we have to let go of what we want to engage fully in what we have. I call that rethinking possible. Thank you.